Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to today's broadcast of This Week in Perfect Team, episode number 236 for Perfect Team, PT Elite Part 3, Packables, and Mission Rewards. How is everybody doing today on this fine Thursday? Oh, man! It is great to be here once again today. Oh, man. Whew. First things first, a Happy New Year to everybody. I know that that some people like to say that like January 3rd is like the last day to tell people a Happy New Year. And, you know, when it comes to stuff like this, you know, that's not true. like if you see someone like maybe the first couple weeks of the year, you know, and yes, there is actual discourse around this, which is just absolutely insane to me to think about that. You know, there's like a time limit to say Happy New Year to people. It's so weird. It's so weird. There's discourse around which day is National Hot Dog Day. Okay, now that I'm going to have to take a look at later. Oh, man. But you know what? Happy New Year to y'all. Hopefully y'all's 2024 has gotten off to a fantastic start. I know it's been getting off to a decent start for me as well. And, you know, I'm looking forward to what's to come this year. Oh, man. And also, real quick, I want to make it known that a couple weeks from now, I will be on vacation. Heck yeah. I'm going to be on vacation in a couple weeks. Gonna go to a convention I've been meaning to get down to for quite a long time, and it's gonna be a fun time. So, a couple weeks from now, we'll have a guest host for This Week in Perfect Team and all that good stuff. So, stay tuned for that. But yeah, how dare you? I know. How dare I go enjoy my life sometimes? Listen. As long as we don't go in like a guest host carousel like Jeopardy did a couple of years ago, then we're going to be fine. Oh, man. But anyway, let's go ahead and get to the show today. We have Packables and Mission Rewards. We're going to smash them all in together, and we're going to have a fun time here today. We got really, really good cards, really great cards coming today. And yeah, I could go all day about the Jeopardy host search and the controversies surrounding it, but that is for another stream. That is for another day. Also, yes, Ken Jennings is really great as a host. Maya Bialik was all right. Wasn't the best, but she was all right. Anyway, that's all I'm going to say about Jeopardy today. I could go all day about it, but let's go ahead and get started with tonight's stream. Today, well, whatever y'all are watching. And no, the first thing I want to mention here today, and that is that PTCS number 9 is coming up. Ah, shoot, I forgot to change this. It's next Saturday. It is next Saturday. Hang on. I'm going to do this on the fly. If you hear saving noises coming from my computer, that is exactly what is going on. Because, yeah, that's a typo right there. Give me just a quick second. Yep, there it is. All slides. There we go. See, we can change it on the fly. Just like that. PTCS number 9 is next Saturday. The 9th and penultimate Perfect Team Championship Series is going to happen on Saturday, January 13th, beginning at noon Eastern Time, with finals coverage on the Out of the Park Development's Twitch channel, per usual. Top 128 teams from this past PTCS period, which lasted from December 4th all the way through December 31st, in each of the 10 eligible formats, will participate in the PTCS. And of course, as always, players get points based on how they finish in the PTCS, and the top 64 teams in these second 5 PTCSs, so Perfect Team Championship Series number 6 through 10, will go to the Perfect Team Master Series. First place through 32nd place in each PTCS will get a brand new PTCS exclusive card depending on how they finished. And like the PTMS, players will get all cards below their finish as well, if applicable. Now, I don't have the details on those yet. I know y'all are anticipating some information, some really great info on what's going to happen in PTCS. Well, more information on that is going to be coming up tomorrow. Our good pal Paul is going to be doing a stream. I'm hoping it's tomorrow. Don't know what time it is. Don't know what time it's going to be at, but it will be tomorrow to show off the formats, the prizes, what to expect with PTCS number 9. It's going to be a fun one. It's going to be a fun one. Alrighty. LE card update. It's just this one. It's just this one that was just revealed on the Laptop Hound pre-game show. Pre-show? Is that what we're gonna call that? Yeah, let's call it a pre-show show. Let's do that. So your LE card update, we have this Mike Cuellar, this beautiful Mike Cuellar 88 overall card. It's a great looking card. You know, you got the orange outline, you got the gray subtle tones there, you got the whatever font that is on the card. It's really cool. It's a good card. There are 100 copies of this card. As far as I know, none have been pulled in the... How many minutes has it been since it was released? 10? 15? Or at least revealed? Don't know if it's actually been released yet, but 15... But let's call it 15 minutes. Oh, let's call it 15 minutes. Generous number right there. None have been pulled as of right now, and that's the only limited edition we have in packs right now. So, pretty cool. All right, that's really all the news and notes we've got. Let's get right to the content here today. PT Elite, more packables and mission rewards than your body has room for. If anybody gets the like more X than your body has room for, y'all have been on the internet way too long. This is our continuation of our PT Elite series, focusing on notable players and performances from the 2023 MLB season. You know, these are starting to become some of my favorite cards in the game. This is starting to become, you know, some of my favorite cards in the game, just because, you know, they're recent players, they have really good stats on them, and, you know, they're just kind of cool designs. They're just kind of really cool designs. It's really cool. So today we have more packables and the first wave of mission rewards. That's right, these are not going to be the only mission rewards. They're going to be associated with PT Elite. So stay tuned for future episodes of This Week in Perfect Team, where we're going to show off some more PT Elite mission rewards. That's going to be interesting. That's going to be interesting stuff. If they're elite players, why do we have cards for guys who didn't even make the All-Star team? Hey, I mean, there's going to be at least 2 per team, so gotta do something. And besides, you know, and like Hondo Lane says, you know, if they're in the MLB, they're already elite. Just for being, you know, the top like 0.1% of all baseball players on Earth, or like top 0.5 or whatever. Like, you know, you won't see any beer leaguers in MLB. And of course there could be jokes around that, but I digress. Let's get to our first card of the day. So we're going to have a total of 10 packable cards and 6 mission reward cards for y'all today. So we're going to show off all the cards that are in this set. Let's go ahead and get started. And we're going to start off, you know what, we're going to start off in a city that, you know, I've been to in the last couple of years, and that is Boston. And, you know, Boston, very, very interesting place, I gotta say. Really loved exploring the place, gosh, about a year and a half ago now. Gosh, it's been a year and a half since I've been in Boston? Dang, it's crazy. But you know what? I went to Fenway Park, and, you know, I had a great time. I had a great time visiting there. And, you know, the Red Sox, you know, they had a little bit of a down year this past season in the 2023 season. Did I catch the right bus this time? We're not going to talk about my bus adventures in Boston, however. All right, we're going to start off with a Boston Red Sox player. You know, this guy right here, you know, he did get optioned, I think, at one point this year back to AAA because he kind of started off like absolutely terrible, but then he had this really great stretch in the middle of the season where he was just absolutely lights out, became the ace of the Red Sox rotation. Ladies and gentlemen, 72 overall, silver card, right-handed starter from the 2023 Boston Red Sox. It is Brayan Bello. Brayan Bello, 77 stuff, 72 movement, 68 homer rating, 74 pitcher BABIP, and 110 on the control. So this guy, really a control artist here today. Against righties, he's got 81 stuff, 73 movement, 70 homer rating, 79 pitcher BABIP, and 109 control. Against lefties, he's got 72 stuff, 70 movement, 65 homer rating, 69 pitcher BABIP, and 111 control. So this guy right here has 73 stamina, 53 on the hold runners. He's an extreme ground ball type. 64 fastball, 60 slider, 72 changeup, 70 sinker, and 50 rating on the cover. He goes to about 95, 97 on the velocity. This guy, you know, he kind of got introduced. He got introduced a little bit to the big leagues in 2022. Went 2-8 with a 4.71. But this year, he started off a little bit slow. And by slow, I mean, we're talking in April, he had a, gosh, 6.57 ERA at the end of April. It's not great. It was not great. But once May and June and a little bit of early July came around, this guy absolutely balled out. From May 4th through July 5th, he went 6-4 with a 2.39 ERA, 56 strikeouts and just 17 walks in 67 2/3 innings pitched. Overall, on the year for Brayan Bello, he went 12-11 with a 4.24 ERA, 7.6 strikeouts per nine, 2.6 walks per nine, and a 1.07 ERA plus. Led the Red Sox in wins this year with 12, which, you know, given the Red Sox season is not exactly an indictment of success of their team, but 12 wins, not bad. He also led in innings pitched, 157 innings pitched. And his high watermark of the year was that July 5th start against the world champion Texas Rangers, where he went 7 innings, gave up just 2 runs on 8 hits, and then it just kind of fell apart a little bit from there for him. But you know what? He had a pretty good year. And heck, on June 18th, he had struck out 8 Yankees in 7 innings. This guy definitely showed some flashes of promise. We'll see how he does this year. He could take a step forward. Maybe be the permanent ace of the Red Sox rotation until they trade him off for financial flexibility. But that's neither here nor there. One other stat that I thought was very interesting about this guy. Extreme ground ball pitcher, like you see up there, that's because his ground ball percentage, 56.1%. That was third among all Major League starters with at least 150 innings pitched. That is something. That is definitely something to admire there a little bit. So, guy can get ground balls in the big leagues. like only a few can. So there you go. Brian Bellows, 72 overall, right-handed starter from the 2023 Boston Red Sox. Shame he had no defense behind him. Yeah, that's what happens when you fail to re-sign Xander Bogaerts. So there you go. Brian Bellows from the 2023 Boston Red Sox. He is in Perfect Team 24. And yes, we are going through the Packables first. Yep, we are going through the Packables first. So there are 10 Packables, 6 reward cards. We are going through the Packables first. So here we go. Let's move on to our next card. And speaking of Xander Bogaerts, we are going to go to the San Diego Padres. And while this is not a Xander Bogaerts card, this guy, you know, the San Diego Padres, they had a very weird season, all things considered. They had a really, really weird season. But, you know, their pitching was definitely, you know, up and down a little bit. You know, you had guys like Blake Snell in the rotation, who has a tournament edition card with PT Elite, who was just absolutely a world beater this year. But, you know, one of the more underrated parts of their rotation this year, one of the most underrated seasons, came from a 31-year-old that was on, gosh, how long? He just signed for like maybe a year or so, and like they opted out of their contract, and now he's somewhere else for next year. But this guy, very, very solid year as a 31-year-old. And that, my friends, is 82 overall right-handed starter from the 2023 San Diego Padres. It is Michael Wacha. Michael Wacha, 79 stuff, 86 movement, 77 homer rating, 99 pitcher BABIP, and 81 control. Against lefties, so he has a little bit of reverse splits in some areas here. Against lefties, he's got 80 stuff, 90 movement, 80 homer rating, 100 pitcher BABIP, and 79 control. Against righties, he's got 79 stuff, 83 movement, 74 homer rating, 98 pitcher BABIP, and 83 control. Got 75 stamina, 56 on the hold runners. He's got a fastball, curveball, sinker, cutter, and a circle change in his repertoire. 92-94 on the velocity, and neutral ground ball to fly ball tendency. And yeah, so Michael Wacha, brand new Kansas City Royal for the 2024 season, but his San Diego year last year was just absolutely incredible. Honestly, who could have seen this coming from Michael Wacha? He went 14-4, a 3.22 ERA, 8.3 strikeouts per 9, 2.9 walks per 9, a 2.88 strikeout to walk rate, 127 ERA plus, which honestly wasn't too bad. He was second amongst Padres starting pitchers in wins above replacement behind, you know, Blake Snell. And he tied with Snell in terms of pitcher wins with 14. So this guy right here, just a solid year. Solid year. 266 BABIP. That was the third best in his career. And he had a really, really great stretch, May through August, where he was just absolutely elite. 8-1 with a 1.54 ERA. Yeah, and Spore in our live chat is saying Wacha's one of those good when healthy guys, but health issues have been prevalent throughout his career. Yeah, because I'm looking at his baseball reference page right now, and you look at his age 24 through 28 seasons. All right, this guy was just hot garbo for a few years there, between 2016 and 2020, between St. Louis and the New York Mets in the COVID year. And his ERA, you know, outside of a 2018 year where he had a 3.20, was above 4. It was at 5 at one point. Heck, in 8 games with the Mets in 2020, he had a ERA over 6.6. So this guy was really on the struggle bus. And heck, you could honestly, you know, include his 2021 season where he had a 5.05 ERA with Tampa. And that's in Tampa. But then something clicked for him. After 2021, he went to Boston, had a really great 2022, parlayed that into a deal with the Padres in 2023, who, by the way, needed as much pitching as they could. And he parlayed it into probably one of the best seasons, if not the best season of his career. So, and he parlayed that into a multi-year deal. I think it's a multi-year deal with the Kansas City Royals for next year. So this is pretty darn good. So get y'all's Wakas in chat, because Michael Wacha from the San Diego Padres is in. Perfect team. 24. So there we go. Michael Wacha. Whew. All right, let's stay in the National League. Let's stay in the National League, and we're going to go to the center of the country. We're going to Chicago for our next one. That's right, we got a Cubs player as our next PT Elite card. And you know, the Cubs were elite in quite a few things this year. You know, they had elite pitching at one point. They had an elite collapse at the end of the year. You know, the team was elite in quite a few categories. And one of the elite players on this team was someone that, you know, just made contact with the ball. Just really made contact with the ball and actually made some history with the Cubs this year. Ladies and gentlemen, 88 overall, second baseman from the 2023 Chicago Cubs, it is Nico Hoerner. Nico Hoerner, 91 BABIP, 48 power, 114 avoid K, 109 contact, 81 gap, and 46 on the eye. Against lefties, he's got 96 BABIP, 35 power, 116 avoid K, 113 contact, 90 gap power, and 55 on the eye. Against righties, he's got 89 BABIP, 52 power, 113 avoid K, 108 contact, 78 gap, and 43 on the eye. Very, very interesting guy here. Really good defense at second and short. He's got 94 range, 75 error, 95 arm, and 88 on the turn double play in the infield. And speed, stealing, and base running. Look at those right there. Whoo! Whoo! 105 speed, 111 stealing, 117 on the base run. That's solid right there. That is a solid speed stealing base running right there. This guy's gonna steal you some bases, like straight up. He's gonna get on. He's gonna be making contact. He's not gonna get on base too much. He doesn't have a whole lot of eye on him, but he's not gonna strike out too often. He's gonna have some BABIP luck that's gonna be attached to him, and he's gonna play some decent defense in the middle infield. It's not bad. It's not bad right here. So Nico Hoerner, during the regular season, he hit 283, 346, 383. So he's not a power guy. All right, this guy is not going to hit a whole lot of homers for you. Now, is that good in gold tournaments? Probably not. But if you're looking for a guy, if you got like a profile, if you want a profile over at second base that can really make contact with the ball, play decent defense, this is the guy for you. 283, 346, 383 on the slash line this year. 9 homers and 68 RBI. He stole 43 bases. That's a career high for him with a 97 OPS plus. And this guy won some awards for his defense. He was the 2023 Gold Glove Award winner at second base. Led the team. He led the Chicago Cubs in wins above replacement with 5.1. with 175 hits, which also led the Chicago Cubs. And he became the first Chicago Cub with 40 stolen bases in a season since Juan Pierre did it in 2006. So, pretty good stuff right here for Nico Hoerner. And yes, Nico Herner won the National League Gold Glove at second base. Ha-Seong Kim won Gold Glove as a utility player. So there's a little factoid right there. So Nico Herner, pretty good speed, pretty good defense, not going to strike out a whole lot. Pretty interesting card right here. And he is in Perfect Team 24. Alrighty, so we got silver, we got a couple of golds. Let's show off some diamonds today. And we got 6 diamonds for y'all in this set. And we're gonna go to Tampa Bay. We are going to go to Tampa Bay. And you know, Tampa Bay's outfield was a very interesting outfield this year. You know, the Rays, the Rays had a really great start to the year, all right? And then they just kind of fell off right at the end of the year and then absolutely choked it away in the wild card series against the Rangers. Like, holy cow, they just fell the heck off. But you know what? One guy that was kind of an unsung hero for this Rays team and really kind of had a breakout year for this team this year is a guy that, you know, played all 3 outfield positions, played a little bit of first base here and there, and was honestly pretty solid until a freak injury took him out for the rest of the year. Ladies and gentlemen, left fielder from the 2023 Tampa Bay Rays, it is 90 overall, Luke Raley. Luke Raley, 97 BABIP, 100 power, 55 avoid K, 108 contact, 110 gap, and 53 on the eye. Against lefties, he's got 104 BABIP, 99 power, 49 avoid K, 109 contact, 93 gap, and 50 on the eye. Against righties, he's got 95 BABIP, 100 power, 57 avoid K, 108 contact, 115 gap, and 54 on the eye. Defensively, he can play first base, left field, center field, and right field. I would honestly play him in the outfield. Probably a corner outfield type of guy. Probably more so left fielder than a right fielder, just given the defensive profile here. In the infield, he's got 68 range, 83 error, 63 arm, and 63 on the turn double play. In the outfield, he's got 79 range, 115 error, and 79 on the arm. Luke Raley, a little bit of a utility player for the Rays this year. You know, played all 3 outfield positions. Had some time at DH a little bit. Did have a first base stint a little bit. He did pitch a couple of times. You know, he was a position player pitching, so he was pretty garbo at it. But Luke Raley, you know, did not have that bad of a year. And this was really the first year that he really got playing time. Really got playing time because, you know, for one, he was out of options, so the Rays had to make a decision on him. Excuse me, just... Oh, I feel a sneeze coming on. There we go. I had to get that out of the way. So like I was saying, Luke Raley, you know, he was out of options, so the Rays had to make a decision, made the team out of spring training, and then he really just kind of had a solid year. 249, 333, 490, 19 homers, 49 RBI, 126 OPS plus, 2.8 wins above replacement, and this was all in 118 games, 406 plate appearances. First time he's really gotten an extended look by a major league team. Because pretty much last couple of years, you know, he had 33 games in LA with the Dodgers, then 22 games back in 22 with the Rays, and then this year really got an opportunity to shine. He hit 19 homers, 49 RBI. He played 4 different fielding positions, like I mentioned, and you know, just he didn't really, you know, set records with the Rays. He was a really solid contributor to the team, and that's pretty much all you could ask for out of the guy. 2.6 offensive wins above replacement, negative 0.4 D-WAR though, so not that great of a defender, just kind of decent enough. Had a 330 BABIP, which was pretty good. But his season was cut short because he ran into an interpreter during batting practice when he was trying to catch a fly ball, and it just kind of screwed him over for the rest of the year. So not a great end to the year, but you know what? He was really killing it at the plate, all things considered. So there you go. Luke Raley from the 2023 Tampa Bay Rays. He is in. Perfect team. 24. All right, next up, let's go to one of the American League finalists this year. Let's go to one of the American League finalists this year. It's not Texas, but it's in the same state. We go to Houston. And this guy right here, let's just say he caused a little bit of trouble in that intrastate ALCS that you may or may not remember. Ladies and gentlemen, 91 overall reliever from the Houston Astros, arguably one of their best pitchers statistically on the year. It is Bryan Abreu. Bryan Abreu, 152 stuff, 94 movement, 81 homer, 107 pitcher BABIP, and for many Texas Rangers fans, a generous 71 control. Against righties, he's got 161 stuff, 93 movement, 80 homer rating, 113 pitcher BABIP, and 76 on the control. Against lefties, he's got 141 stuff, 95 movement, 82 homers, 82 homers? Damn, he got bad on him too. 82 home run rating, 98 pitcher BABIP, and 65 control. 19 stamina, 58 on the hold runners, 97 to 99 on the velocity, neutral ground ball, fly ball tendency with a fastball, slider, and curveball combo. So Bryan Abreu, you may know him from his exploits in the American League Championship Series, where he really just pretty much flat out plunked Adolis Garcia. And that was pretty much the highlight of his year, if we want to call it a highlight. But, you know, statistically, he had a really good year. 72 games, 72 innings pitched, a 1.75 ERA, 12.5 strikeouts per nine, 3.9 walks per nine. So, yeah, the control's not going to be great on this guy. But he had the second lowest ERA among all Astros pitchers with a minimum of 30 games because, you know, you got to be a little bit generous like that. And, you know, pretty good stuff. He led all Astros in strikeouts per nine, FIP, and WHIP on the year. So, you know, this guy was a real weapon out of their bullpen in more ways than one, unfortunately, for Mr. Garcia. But, you know, he had 100 strikeouts out of the bullpen, had a 2.98 FIP, 1.042 WHIP. Pretty good stuff right here. The lowest ERA actually went to Hector Neris, who had a 1.71 ERA in 71 games. So, you know, those two, setting up Ryan Presley in the ninth inning, that was a pretty solid setup tandem that the Astros had during the regular season. And when you extrapolate his stats to all Major League Baseball relief pitchers, his 2.5 wins above replacement, tied for the 5th best WAR among all MLB relief pitchers. So that's a pretty good accomplishment right there for Bryan Abreu. We'll see if he can keep it up for next year. He's going to start with a 2-game suspension for plunking Adolis Garcia. But, you know, we'll see if he can repeat this performance or if bullpen volatility is going to get to him. So there you go. Bryan Abreu from the 2023 Houston Astros is in. Perfect team. 24. All right, folks. Next up, I heard you like the Tampa Bay Rays because, so we put another Tampa Bay Ray in this set. And, you know, there were quite a few Rays hitters that had a really, really, really good slugging season. And, you know, maybe, and, you know, this guy right here, I was gonna make a joke about the left side of the Rays infield, but I thought it was very tasteless. So we're not going to do that. We're just gonna go straight to the card. It is 91 overall, third baseman, Isaac Paredes from the 2023 Tampa Bay Rays. Boy, it's kind of awkward to talk about the Rays infield right now, ain't it? 55 BABIP, 112 power, 86 avoid K, 91 contact, 76 gap, and 79 on the eye. Against lefties, these are some interesting splits that Paredes has right here. 69 BABIP, 94 power, 92 avoid K, 97 contact, 71 gap, and 81 on the eye. Against righties, 51 BABIP, 118 power, 84 avoid K, 88 contact, 78 gap, and 78 on the eye. This guy can play all four infield positions: first base, second base, third base, and shortstop. And boy, do the Rays need a shortstop right now. 84 range, 77 error, 95 arm, and 82 on the turn double play. 33 speed, 41 stealing, and 51 on the base running. 2023 season for Isaac Paredes, you know, he's a Tigers legend. He is a Tigers legend. And, you know, I was kind of hoping they would keep this guy because he was a lot better than some of the other guys that we kept around. And then we got Austin Meadows, which God love him, he was fine with us, but yeah, but more power to you know, more power to Austin Meadows for what he's going through, all that good stuff. But Isaac Paredes, you know, it was kind of hard to lose him. But he had a really good year, really good power year for the Rays. 250, 352, 488 on the slash line. 31 homers, 98 RBI, and a 131 OPS plus. 18th in AL MVP voting. Yeah, this guy received a 9th place vote for AL MVP. I don't know who gave it to him, but kudos to kudos to Isaac Paredes and whoever voted for him for garnering that 9th place AL MVP vote. He led the Rays in home runs and RBI during the regular season, finished second in OPS plus and second in total bases with 240 total bases, which those are career highs for Mr. Paredes. If I can take a look at the stats again. Yeah, those are all career highs. Really his second full year, if you don't really count the 2020 season where he had 34 games with the Tigers. But this guy, you know, I think he's starting to fit a profile of, you know, low average, high homers, high on base. I think we're going to start to see this guy kind of fit that archetype of a 3 true outcomes kind of player. Now, his 257 BABIP, best of a full season in his career, definitely better than the 195 BABIP that he garnered last year with Tampa. But, you know, he made some strides this year, really made some strides at the plate, and we'll see if he can kind of, you know, make some more strides going into his age 25 season, because now he's entering his prime years, and we'll see what he can do for the Rays in the upcoming years. So there you go, Isaac Paredes from the 2023 Tampa Bay Rays, and he is in perfect team 24. Alrighty, next up, let's go. Man, if you thought my pronunciation of Nico Herner was fun to hear about, let's go to a classic. Let's go to Philadelphia, man. Let's do it. And, you know, the Phillies had some pretty good hitters, but they also had some decent defenders in the infield. And, you know, I am also counting catchers as infielders in this particular statement. And our next PT Elite card is their main backstop. Ladies and gentlemen, it is 92 overall, JT Realmuto. 93 BABIP, 80 power, 62 avoid K, 100 contact, 116 gap, and 62 I overall. Against lefties, he's got 99 BABIP, 95 power, 58 avoid K, 109 contact, 113 gap, and 60 on the eye. And against righties, it's not great. This guy is a versus lefty kind of guy right here. Against righties, he's got 91 BABIP, 75 power, 64 avoid K, 97 contact, 117 gap, 62 on the eye. So he's got a little bit more eye and avoid K against righties, but he's got a lot more BABIP, power, and contact overall against lefties. He can play catcher and he can play a little bit of first base. 99 catcher ability, 112 on the catcher arm. And yeah, maybe don't play him at first base too often. He's got 25 range, 47 error, 68 infield arm, and 14 on the turn double plays. 61 speed, 86 stealing, and 58 base running as well for Realmuto. Now, JT, I think we can all readily admit this was a little bit of a down year for JT Realmuto, all things considered. Like, this guy, I remember JT Realmuto for one thing in Out of the Park, and I was in an online league way back when he was a prospect with the Marlins, back around, you know, 2014, 2015-ish, around this point. And one of the trades that I made was to get JT Realmuto on my team. That's the only thing in Out of the Park that I remember JT Realmuto for. And, you know, JT has had a solid career. He's had a solid career between Miami and Philadelphia. And, you know, we can readily admit this was a bit of a down year for JT Realmuto. He hit 252, 310, 452, which honestly still is not a terrible year for him. But, you know, compared to his 276, 342, 478 slash line last year, it's not up to what you would expect from a JT Realmuto. Now, there are projections that kind of show that, you know, he's going to bounce back a little bit in terms of batting average, on base, and slugging a little bit. But, you know, maybe he is on that little bit of a decline as a hitter potentially. We'll see if that happens next year, but it's going to be interesting to see what happens. But, you know, 106 OPS plus, so he's still right around league average. This was his fourth season of his career with more than 20 homers, and his catcher ERA was still pretty darn decent. 3.97 catcher ERA, third lowest of his career, which that's pretty darn good for a catcher. Now, he did take a little bit of a step back in terms of base stealing, like caught stealing, because last year he led the league in caught stealing percentage with 44%. This time it was still above league average, but still about, you know, 20 points down. Caught 22% of base stealers, still above league average by about 3 points. So not a terrible year for him behind the plate. But still a little bit of a down year, but it was still a very good year for JT Realmuto, and he gets a PT Elite card here in Perfect Team 24. And yeah, you could probably chalk that up to the stolen base changes. That is a fair argument to make. 100%, I can agree with you on that. So there you go. JT Realmuto in Perfect Team 24. All right, next up, let's go out west. Let's go out west. We haven't been out west in a little bit since we went to San Diego. So let's go in the NL West. Let's go to the NL West, and we'll go to the National League champions. Let's go to Arizona for a bit. Arizona had some really great hitters during the regular season. And you know, this guy right here that we have, he was blocked in multiple organizations for quite a few years in his early career. He lands in Arizona, takes over at a premium hitting position, and he just kind of runs with it a little bit. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have 94 overall first baseman from the Arizona Diamondbacks. It is 94 overall Christian Walker. Christian Walker, 88 BABIP, 118 power, 60 avoid K, 109 contact, 114 gap, and 100 on the eye. This guy is a splitty guy, a little bit. This guy is a little bit splitty. Take little bit as you will. Let's take a look at these splits. Against lefties, 89 BABIP, 152 power, 61 avoid K, 119 contact, 116 gap, and 105 on the eye. Folks, that is a lot of power. That is a lot of power against lefties right here. Against righties, he's got 88 BABIP, 107 power, 60 avoid K, 106 contact, 113 gap, and 98 on the eye. So still decently serviceable against righties, but more so you would probably want to put him in against some lefties here. First base. Let's talk about his first base defense here. 83 range, 86 error, 80 arm, and 55 on the turn double play. Very good defender over at first base. 47 speed, 64 stealing, and 44 on the base running. So he's not gonna have a whole lot of speed on him. He's not gonna bunt either. 56 sack bunt, 52 on the bunt for hit. 2023 season for Christian Walker, a very, very good one. All things considered, you know, he was probably one of the best offensive players outside of, you know, Corbin Carroll on the Arizona Diamondbacks this year. 258, 333, 497, 33 homers, 103 RBI, and a 123 OPS plus. He led the Diamondbacks in homers and RBI, finished 6th on the team in wins above replacement with 3.8 wins above replacement. He also, for the second straight year, won the National League Gold Glove at first base. And you know, one little fun fact, let me just double check something here. Let me just double check something. You know who hasn't won back-to-back Gold Gloves in the National League at first base? Paul Goldschmidt. You know who did? Christian Walker. For the second straight year, Christian Walker winning a National League Gold Glove. Now, Goldschmidt has won 1, 2, 3, 4 Gold Gloves. They were never in consecutive years. Now, a lot of you may recall Christian Walker for his error in the World Series and for his base running blunder. You know, he didn't really have the greatest postseason, but you know, you could chalk that up to maybe some inexperience, pressure maybe getting to him, but you know what? He was one of Arizona's best offensive players during the regular season, and you know, maybe he can kind of keep this up a little bit going into next year. So Christian Walker, 3.8 wins above replacement, not as high as it was last year with Arizona when it was around a 5.1, but still pretty darn good. Second best of his career, outside of his 2019 year with Arizona. But, you know, this guy could be a perennial 30 home run hitter, potentially. Now, he is going to be 33 next year, so maybe we can pump the brakes on that a little bit because, you know, he's on the wrong side of 30. But we'll see what happens as it heads into 2024. So there you go. Christian Walker from the 2023 Arizona Diamondbacks is in Perfect Team 24. Alrighty, next up, we got one more diamond to show off for you today. And folks, this guy has to be one of the best control artists that we have today in Major League Baseball. This guy is not going to walk a whole lot of people if he can help it. Ladies and gentlemen, we go to the Pacific Northwest for our next card. It is 96 overall, right-handed starter from the Seattle Mariners. It is George Kirby. Kirby, he's named to know. 98 stuff, 90 movement, 83 homer rating, 90 pitching BABIP, and a whopping 125 control. Whoo, boy, that's a whole lot of control. Against righties, he's got 102 stuff, 92 movement, 85 homer rating, 94 pitching BABIP, and 126 control. Against lefties, he's got 93 stuff, 87 movement, 80 homer rating, 85 pitcher BABIP, and 125 control. Playo! Fastball, slider, curveball, changeup, sinker, splitter, and a knuckleball on this guy right here. When I saw that knuckleball, when I looked up George Kirby's numbers and his profile again, I remembered that he threw that one knuckleball in an October game as a tribute to Tim Wakefield, and I was like, oh man, Paul, did you put the knuckleball in there? I went to take a look at the slide, and I was like, yes, he did put the knuckleball in. That, oh yeah, great touch on this card right here. Oh man. He's got 93 stamina, 49 on the hold runners, 96, 98 on the velocity, neutral ground ball to fly ball tendency. Now, control for George Kirby is pretty much going to be his calling card. All right? George Kirby, his control is going to be his calling card. He's not really great anywhere else. I mean, he's got 102 stuff against righties, but he is going to be decently solid as kind of maybe a high diamond-ish kind of player, maybe like a number 5 starter in a high diamond rotation potentially. It's very, very interesting to see how this George Kirby card might play, maybe in tournaments, maybe in league play. We'll see what happens. 2023 season for George Kirby, 13-10 with a 3.35 ERA, 8.1 strikeouts per 9, 0.9 walks per 9. That is elite right there. 1.038 on the whip. He was an all-star and finished 8th in American League Cy Young voting and led MLB in walks per 9 and strikeout to walk ratio at a 9.05. And of course, after Tim Wakefield's unfortunate death, in his next start on October 1st, he threw a knuckleball, first time in his career, as a tribute to Tim Wakefield. So that was a pretty cool moment. I think it was a ball. Not a strike or something like that. But oh, it was a swing and a miss. Thank you. So it was a swing and a miss. Yeah, this is not the greatest knuckleball in the world. No, this is just a tribute. Exactly. So George Kirby, 2023 Seattle Mariner. He is in. Perfect team. 24. Alrighty. Next up, we got one perfect as a packable for you all today. And we go to a guy who was a pretty dang good closer in the AL Central in the 2023 season. Ladies and gentlemen, from the 2023 Minnesota Twins, it is 100 overall reliever Yohan Duran. 158 stuff, 123 movement, 114 homer rating, 97 pitcher BABIP, and 89 control. Against lefties, he's got 155 stuff, 128 movement, 125 homer rating, 95 pitcher BABIP, and 88 control. Against righties, he's got 161 stuff, 104 movement, 107 homer rating, 100 pitcher BABIP, and 89 on the control. 18 on the stamina, 50 on the hold runners. He is an extreme ground ball type pitcher, 98 to 100 miles an hour on the velocity, fastball, curveball, and sinker combo right here. So Yohan Duran, first full year as the Twins closer. Pretty darn good year. Pretty much an elite year in terms of all American League relief pitchers. You know, he was 5th among AL relief pitchers in strikeouts per 9 with that 12.1 strikeouts per 9 rate. Finished 4th on the pitching staff in wins above replacement at 1.9. Had 27 saves for the Twins this year. He had a pretty darn good year. Yeah, there apparently he has a pitch called the Splinker, which it's like a splitter sinker combo, but unfortunately, Out of the Park's baseball dictionary does not have the word splinker in there. It sounds a lot like sprinkler, but yeah, so we're gonna have to call it a sinker, and that actually might help a little bit with his extreme ground ball tendency. So it's going to be interesting to see how this Duran card plays. Definitely going to be playing in a lot of those, you know, OTP era tournaments as a pretty good reliever. That's going to be pretty interesting. We'll see how he does in league play. Maybe get his pitch around rating down, pitch around slider down quite a bit, and just watch the strikeouts rack up or something like that. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens with this guy. Yohan Duran, 2023 Minnesota Twin, helped close out the Twins' first series win in a postseason in God knows how many years. In a long time. Yohan Duran in Perfect Team 24. So there's a look at your packable cards. Those are all 10 of the packable cards that you will find in this set today. Let's talk about some mission rewards. That's right, our first wave of mission rewards for PT Elite. So, let's see what we got here today. So, there are going to be 6 cards that are going to be mission rewards for PT Elite. We're going to have more down the line. So this is just the first wave of them. So let's go ahead and start. Now I'm trying to think here. Let's see. How are we looking on these? Because I want to see what we've got going on. Okay, I see. Okay. So what we got going on here is we have reward cards for each of the divisions. 6 mission cards, 1 for each division. That's all that's all I'm gonna say on this here. So one mission reward card per division for PT Elite. There aren't any toppers outside the divisions. No. There are no toppers outside of the divisions. At least right now. But let's go ahead and get started. Our first one is our AL Central mission reward card. And this guy was actually involved in a trade deadline deal that worked out pretty decently for both sides. Ladies and gentlemen, from the Kansas City Royals, I think there's a couple of people that are going to be happy that this card is going to be existing. And that is 96 overall, left-handed starting pitcher, Cole Ragans. Cole Ragans, 134 stuff, 116 movement, 104 homer rating, 105 pitching BABIP, and 94 control. Against righties, he's got 135 stuff, 116 movement, 104 homer rating, 105 pitching BABIP, 93 control. Against lefties, 134 stuff, 119 movement, 106 homer, 104 pitching BABIP, and 96 control. He is a left-handed starting pitcher, by the way. So you got a little bit of reverse splits on some of these categories. That's going to be fun to see how that works. 77 stamina, 62 on the hold runners, 100 on, you got a fastball, slider, curveball, changeup, and cutter combo on this guy. 2023 season for Cole Ragans. Holy cow. So this guy started in Texas as a reliever. He was not great by any stretch of the imagination. Like this guy, let me get his Baseball Reference page up. So last year, had 9 games started with the Rangers, had just a 4.95 ERA. Not a whole lot of flashes of brilliance on this guy, but, you know, coming into 2023, he started off just absolute bad, all right? 17 games with the Rangers, 5.92 ERA, 2-3 record, out of the bullpen. He goes to Kansas City in the Aroldis Chapman deal. And something clicked. Whether it was probably coaching or whether it was development, who knows? Who knows? This guy absolutely balled out for Kansas City. And he honestly could be the ace of the Kansas City staff for the next couple of years. And one of our resident Royals fans in chat said the coaches sent him to AAA to work on a slider. Ooh. Ooh, so that's how he got good. I see. And this guy, you know, was also a 2-time Tommy John guy, got his velo back in spring, and our guy Paul Sporer says he was still surprised Texas moved on from him. Well, Texas may regret moving on from him because in 12 starts with the Kansas City Royals, he went 5-2 with a 2.64 ERA and 11.2 strikeouts per 9 in those 12 starts. Whoo, boy. That's pretty darn good. And he won the AL Pitcher of the Month award in August with a 3-1 record and a 1.72 ERA. And yeah, the Rangers won the World Series. You can't be too mad if you're Texas, but I mean, this guy might have been useful in their rotation. Who knows? Especially since DeGrom's health is on the decline and all that stuff. So either way, Cole Ragans, 96 innings pitched in the regular season, 29 games overall, had a 3.47 ERA, but those Royal stats, really what need to be highlighted here. So there you go. Cole Ragans is your AL Central PT Elite Mission Reward card in Perfect Team 24. Alrighty, next up, let's go to the National League Central. And you know, quietly, one of the best offensive and defensive catchers in the league resides in Milwaukee. Ladies and gentlemen, this next guy, definitely on a come up right here. It is 99 overall catcher from the 2023 Milwaukee Brewers. It is William Contreras. William Contreras, 101 BABIP, 76 power, 69 avoid K, 108 contact, 101 gap, and 89 on the eye. This guy Definitely a lefty killer. 100%. 114 BABIP, 99 power, 76 avoid K, 129 contact, 114 gap, and 91 on the eye. Against righties, it's a little bit meh. 97 BABIP, 69 power, 67 avoid K, 101 contact, 97 gap, and 88 on the eye. Catcher defense. Whoo, buddy. 110 catcher ability, 94 on the arm. Pretty darn good, especially coming from the Milwaukee Brewers' catching laboratory. Like straight up, this guy's defense, maybe a product of the Milwaukee Brewers catching factory, the catching lab that people know exists. But you know, this year, William Contreras probably established himself as one of the best offensive catchers in the game right now. 289, 367, 457 on the slash line, 17 homers, 78 RBI, and a 125 OPS plus. He was a Silver Slugger, finished 11th in National League MVP voting. Had the best batting average among all Major League catchers with a minimum of 400 at-bats. And his 3.8 wins above replacement was 4th best among all MLB catchers. And Sporer says something about Gary Sanchez. Here's a funny thing. When I was doing research on this slide, I wanted to highlight William Contreras' catcher's ERA. And so I did a baseball reference search for, catcher ERA leaders and all that. And in large sample size of a year, there was one guy in the National League who had a better catcher's ERA than William Contreras. And guess who it was? Gary Sanchez. Gary Sanchez. I could not believe it. I really could not believe it. That just kind of, it boggled my mind a little bit. How many framing runs did Gary Sanchez get? I don't know. I didn't look that far into it. But yeah, when you catch Blake Snell, your catcher ERA is low. Yeah, I mean, you could probably chalk it up to that. But I just found it funny. I just found it just hilarious, really. Oh, man. But there you go. William Contreras, one of the best offensive catchers in the league right now. He is in Perfect Team 24. All right, next up, let's go out to the American League West Division. The American League West Division for the next mission reward card. And folks, hey, you know what? We had one Seattle Mariner today already. How about we add another? This guy right here. I think we all know this guy as one of the most exciting young players in the major leagues right now. Took a few steps forward, a couple of steps back this year, but you know what? He had a really good year overall. The mainstay, the heart of the Seattle Mariners lineup. It is 99 overall center fielder from the 2023 Mariners. It is Julio Rodriguez. 104 BABIP, 95 power, 69 avoid K, 117 contact, 107 gap, and 60 on the eye. Against lefties, he's got 118 BABIP, 89 power, 63 avoid K, 124 contact, 103 gap, 61 on the eye. Against righties, he's got 100 BABIP, 97 power, 71 avoid K, 115 contact, 109 gap, and 60 on the eye. So this guy, kind of more of a contact hitter. He'll hit a few home runs here and there. But what you really should be focusing on here, I think people have already, you know, found this out. That defense. Whoo, buddy, that defense. Whoo. That is a 112 on the outfield range. 105 error, 94 on the arm. This guy, one of the best center field defenders in the game right now. 98 speed, 109 stealing, 114 base running as well. Folks, this guy is absolutely insane. Now, will he hit home runs? We'll see. We'll see. But this guy's gonna hit decently. He's not gonna walk too much though. So the eye is a little bit low on this guy. But that's some elite defense, some elite speed on this guy. He's gonna be interesting to see what happens. He's gonna be interesting to see what happens with this guy. Definitely a center fielder in diamond tournaments. Straight up. Straight up. In 2023, Julio Rodriguez hit 275, 333, 485, 32 homers, 103 RBI, and a 128 OPS plus. He was an all-star, Silver Slugger, and finished 4th in AL MVP voting. He had the 44th ever 30-30 year in Major League history, led Seattle in homers, RBI, and stolen bases. 37 stolen bases for Julio Rodriguez. And of course, one of the big highlights of the year for Julio Rodriguez. Oh man, I remember watching this home run derby and absolutely crushing it. All right. He broke the home run derby record for most home runs in a single round with 41. 41 in the first round, absolutely decimating Pete Alonso in the home run derby. That was fun to watch. Was it as fun as Adley Rutschman absolutely killing it from both sides of the plate in the home run derby? It's up there. It was up there. But, you know, Julio, he's got some raw power in him. Very interesting to see how this will play in league and in tournaments. So there you go. Julio Rodriguez, your American League West mission reward card for PT Elite. He is in Perfect Team 24. All right, we got 3 perfect mission edition cards for PT Elite. And we're going to start out in the American League East. In the American League East. And folks, we've had a couple of Tampa Bay Rays already. How about a third? How about a third Tampa Bay Ray on the day? Man, oh man, oh man. When this guy was healthy. When this guy was healthy, this guy was absolutely darn near untouchable during the regular season. Ladies and gentlemen, 100 overall, left-handed starter from the Tampa Bay Rays, it is Shane McClanahan. Shane McClanahan, 149 stuff, 120 movement, 109 homer rating, 103 pitching BABIP, and 119 control. Against lefties, 153 stuff, 128 movement, 115 homer rating, 104 pitcher BABIP, and 121 control. Against righties, 148 stuff, 117 movement, 107 homer rating, 102 pitcher BABIP, and 118 control. 83 stamina, 74 on the hold runner, fastball, slider, curveball, and splitter in his repertoire, neutral ground ball, fly ball tendency, and 97-99 on the velocity. Whoo boy, Shane McClanahan. Goodness gracious, man, when this guy was healthy, And this guy was on. He was fantastic. Darn near elite. Pretty much elite. 11-2 with a 3.29 ERA in the regular season. 9.5 strikeouts per 9. 3.2 walks per 9. And a 1.27 ERA plus. He was a 2023 All-Star. Second straight selection to the All-Star team. And he had some really good starts during the regular season for the Rays. And it's unfortunate that his season ended prematurely because of elbow issues. He had Tommy John surgery in August, so he's going to be out for pretty much the majority of 2024, which is just a damn shame, to be honest, that McClanahan's not going to pitch a lot next year because, man, oh man, he's pretty darn good. But he had 6 no-hit innings against Milwaukee on May 19th, and he also became the 3rd Tampa Bay pitcher in history with an 8-0 start to the regular season in the win-loss record. So there you go. Shane McClanahan from the 2023 Tampa Bay Rays. He is in Perfect Team 24. All right, 2 more to go. And you want to talk about elite starters. We have an elite lefty here. All right. But how about an elite right-handed starter? How about an elite right-handed starter? Let's go to the National League East. Let's go to the National League East Division. And this guy right here, folks, might be one of the best pitchers in terms of just pure strikeouts. Honestly, this guy is probably the modern day Randy Johnson, just with how much he strikes people out. Folks, this is 100 overall right-handed starter from the Atlanta Braves. It is Spencer Strider. 179 stuff as a starting pitcher. Is there any more that needs to be said? 116 movement, 105 homer, 101 pitching BABIP, 115 on the control. Against righties, 190 stuff, 114 movement, 103 homer rating, 108 pitching BABIP, and 117 control. 95 stamina, 43 on the hold runners, 97.99 on the velocity. Fastball, slider, and changeup. That is a sick slider rating right there. 132 slider. Goodness gracious. Whew. This guy's incredible. Honestly, I'm going to be curious as to whether people use this as a starting pitcher or as a reliever, because he's got so much stuff rating here. I'm very curious as to what people might use him as. Could he be used as a starter? Probably. Could he be maybe used in the bullpen? Yes. Honestly, you could go either way with this. You could really go either way with this. I'm very, very curious. Very curious. 2023 season for Spencer Strider. This guy is becoming one of the elite strikeout pitchers in baseball right now. And it is well deserved. He's really, almost come out of nowhere to be one of the best strikeout pitchers in the game today. 20-5 record. He got 20 wins. He got 20 wins during the regular season, which is incredible. 20-5, 3.86 ERA. Well, and again, he had the Atlanta offense behind him, so take that as you will. 3.86 ERA, 13.5 strikeouts per 9, 2.85 on the FIP. He was an all-star and 4th in NL Cy Young voting. Led MLB in wins and strikeouts. He had 281 strikeouts on the regular season. And if he actually threw more innings, he might have gotten to 300. But no. He only throws 123 innings. Guy needs to go deeper in games, but that's just me being an old fuddy-duddy. But he became the fastest to 200 strikeouts in a season in just 123 and a third innings pitched. And honestly, I think I might have undercounted the innings pitched. He actually pitched 186 innings, so that's not bad considering nobody's throwing 200 innings anymore. But so that's my apologies on that. But 123 and a third innings pitched to get to 200 strikeouts on the season, that's incredible. That's incredible. And he also broke the Atlanta single-season strikeouts record as well. So, very good year for Spencer Strider. And, yeah. This guy's good. This guy's good. I'm very interested to see how people are going to use this card. Also, he's a pretty good mustache, too. I don't know if people have mentioned that, but he has a pretty good mustache, too. All right, Spencer Strider is in Perfect Team 24. Oh, yeah, where's his quad rating? Yeah, where's his quad rating? What's his rating against the Philadelphia Phillies, though? What's his rating against the Philadelphia Phillies? Probably an iron card. Probably an iron card. All right, folks, we have one more card. And we have one more division to talk about today. Because we've had, with these Mission Edition rewards, we talked about the AL Central, talked about the AL West, we've talked about the AL East, we've talked about the NL East, we've talked about the NL Central. Now let's talk about the NL West. And folks, if you want to talk about elite players in baseball, most of them, not all of them, but most of them come from the Los Angeles Dodgers. And let me tell you, folks, the National League MVP race was a phenomenal race this year. This guy finished runner-up in this voting, and, it could have gone either way. It was Acuna. I mean, Acuna ran away with this freaking award. But this guy definitely made his case for being MVP. And you know what? He still had a damn good season. And it's here in a PT Elite card. Ladies and gentlemen, 100 overall, right fielder from the LA Dodgers. Y'all know who it is. It's the guy the Red Sox probably should have extended, Mookie Betts. 111 BABIP, 139 power, 114 avoid K, 156 contact, 116 gap, 118 on the eye. There's a lot of Dodger blue on this card right here. Against righties, it's 113 BABIP, 133 power, 112 avoid K, 155 contact, 115 gap power, and 117 on the eye. Against lefties, it's 106 BABIP, 155 power, 120 avoid K, 161 contact, 119 on the gap power, and 120 on the eye. And look at the position eligibility. Look at the position eligibility. Oh, hang on. Okay, there's a little bit of a change to this card, actually, that should not be there. there's a little bit of a change we need to make. Give me just a quick second. It's not going to show up on stream, but there is a little bit of a change. He's not playing left field. He can't play left field. Center field. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, so he cannot play left field. He's going to be partially trained in center. So I don't know why that showed up. Must have been when I pulled this slide. So my apologies for that. My apologies for that. But he can still play second base. He can still play shortstop. And he can play some right field. And he can play it very well. He's got 89 range in the infield, 85 error, 91 arm, and 87 on the turn double play. In the outfield, he's got 100 range, 106 error, and 114 on the arm. Yeah, that is yeah, sorry about that, guys. Sorry about that, guys. Really sorry about the no left field stuff. That's something that we should have checked beforehand, and that is 100% on me. But this guy's still an elite bat, still an elite defender, and pretty decent on the infield as well. He's going to be playing second base, I would believe, full time next year. So that's going to be fun to see how that goes. He actually wasn't too bad at second base. Wasn't too bad at second base during the regular season. He actually had a couple of appearances at shortstop. I believe 16. Yeah, I believe 16 appearances at shortstop for Mookie Betts. So 2023 season for Mookie Betts had a 307 average, 408 on base, 579 slugging, 39 homers, 107 RBI, and a 163 OPS plus. He was an all-star Silver Slugger and second in NL MVP voting, had career highs in homers, led LA in homers, RBI, and OPS plus, and played a career high in games at second base, had 70 games. And I do have the updated slide. And this was not a thing that was done today. This was something that apparently, was updated yesterday and should have been pulled when I pulled last night. And it just did not happen. That is my apologies. But here is the updated, here's the updated Mookie. Here is the updated Mookie stats right here. So he is a 112 at second base, 98 at shortstop, a 57 out of 114 in center field, and a 128 in right field. So my apologies for showing you incorrect information. That is partially on me here. So there you go. Mookie Betts from the LA Dodgers is it. Perfect team. 24. So there you go. Your PT Elite collection. Brian Balo, Michael Wacha, Nico Herner, Luke Raley, Isaac Paredes, Brian Abreu, J.T. Realmuto, Christian Walker, George Kirby, and Yohan Duran as Packables. Cole Reagans, William Contreras, Julio Rodriguez, Shane McClanahan, Spencer Strider, and Mookie Betts as mission rewards. All right, so some fun cards here today. And before we sign off for the day, we want to say congratulations to our weekly leaderboard champs. Week 39, the final PTCS 9 period. Daily Iron was won once again by Scoocha11 and the OK Oaks with 133 points. That is a 2-week streak for the OK Oaks. Daily Bronze last week was won by Zargian2 and the Debrecen Giants with 107 points. Daily Silver won by Go Cubs Go 16 and the Webster Groves Supercells with 158 points. Daily Gold was won by Shy Sox Fan and the Ozzie Guillen's Gold Sox with 118 points. Daily Diamond won by OK Basketball and the Observatory Park Otters with 146 points. Daily Open won by Chino 2 in the Merseyside Insufferables with 92 points. Daily Wildcard last week won by Waddy 3 in the North York No Logo with 139 points. And folks, this is not a typo. This is not a typo. Isadafo winning the weekly tournaments title last week with a whopping 245 points. That is incredible. Whew. Incredible. PD Daily won last week by Griff's 142 in the Manchester Worker Bees for the second week in a row with 144 points. And PD Weekly won by Rojo and the Mount Pleasant Mounties with 72 points. Awesome, awesome stuff by everybody. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in to today's episode of This Week in Perfect Team, episode number 236. Cards are live. Cards are live. Cards are live. Missions coming very, very soon. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Have a great rest of the day, everybody. I've been DishNet34, Rob Tomlinson, signing out. Have a great rest of your day.